because I don't know how it feels like it's disrespectful to his kids.
I'm just telling you that you should be aware of what's going on. Tell me what's going on.
It's hard to forget the moment everything changed for the Brown family. One day, the world saw Robyn Brown as the gentle, tearful peacemaker of sister wives. The next, her carefully built image shattered in front of millions. The truth didn't come out in a dramatic confrontation or a planned tell-all. It slipped out in a way no one expected. A hot mic, a private conversation, and a camera crew that caught more than anyone bargained for. Suddenly, the secrets that had simmered for years inside the Brown household were out in the open, and the fallout was nothing short of explosive. This wasn't just another reality TV scandal. This was the moment the family's deepest fractures were exposed, not by outsiders, but by Robyn's own words, and eventually by her own daughters. The shockwaves hit every corner of the Sister Wives universe. Fans, family, even TLC itself. The story that followed would leave no one untouched. Meri, who spent years searching for acceptance. Janelle, the quiet backbone. Christine, who finally found her voice. Cody, the patriarch caught in the crossfire. And Robyn's daughters, who stepped out of the shadows to share what really happened behind closed doors. Hi, friends. I'm Helena, and you're watching TLC's Sister Wives News. If you care about the truth behind reality TV, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a story like this. And I want to hear from you. What was your first reaction when you saw the cracks in the Brown family? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. For years, Robyn Brown was the face of calm in the storm. On Sister Wives, she always seemed to be the one holding out an olive branch, wiping away tears and pleading for unity. She spoke softly, often with her hands folded in her lap, and told viewers she just wanted the family to stay together. TLC's cameras loved her vulnerability. In those early seasons, Robyn's emotional confessions became a signature of the show. She was the wife who cried for everyone, the one who said she wanted peace more than anything else. Episodes like the family's move to Flagstaff showed Robyn at her most sympathetic. She worried about the kids, about the other wives' feelings, about Cody's stress. When Christine left, Robyn was the one who broke down on camera, saying she felt powerless to stop the family from falling apart. She told viewers she was misunderstood, that she never wanted to be the favorite, and that the pain of being blamed for the family's problems was almost too much to bear. Fans saw her as the glue, the one who tried to keep everyone together, even as things got messy. But if you watched closely, there were always little moments that didn't quite fit the narrative. Sometimes Robyn's tears came right after a tense conversation where she'd quietly pushed her own agenda. In the episodes about the Coyote Pass property, she insisted she was just trying to be fair. But her comments about what's best for my kids always seemed to take priority. When Meri struggled with the fallout from the catfishing scandal, Robyn offered support. But there was a distance, almost as if she was watching the drama from the outside, not living it. Even the other wives noticed. Janelle once said in a confessional that she felt like Robyn's emotions took up all the air in the room. Christine, in her final season, admitted she never really felt safe opening up to Robyn. The cracks were there, hidden behind the tears and the talk of unity. Looking back, it's clear the calm was only on the surface. Underneath, something much more complicated was brewing. It happened on a morning that was supposed to be routine. The TLC crew was at Robyn's house in Flagstaff, setting up for what everyone thought would be a standard day of filming. Robyn sat in her living room, sipping her usual herbal tea, chatting on the phone with her sister. The cameras were rolling, but the mood was relaxed. No one expected anything out of the ordinary. Then, in a moment that would change everything, Robyn forgot her microphone was still on. What came next was nothing like the Robyn viewers thought they knew. Her voice, usually so gentle, took on a sharp edge. She complained about the family's financial problems, dismissing Janelle's concerns about the Coyote Pass property as pitiful. She made a snide remark about Meri and Janelle not being able to handle their own children or money. The words were cold, calculated, and so far from the peacemaker image that even the crew froze. One of the producers, caught just out of frame, looked stunned. This wasn't just a slip. It was a window into a side of Robyn the cameras had never shown. The impact was immediate. As soon as the footage hit TLC's editing room, alarms went off. Editors flagged the video, knowing it was explosive. The network faced a dilemma: air the footage and risk a lawsuit, or bury it and protect Robyn's reputation. But the decision was made for them when a junior editor leaked the clip online. Within hours, it was everywhere. YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, hashtags like "On a Robyn Exposed" and "Soccer Sister Wives" scandal started trending. Fans who had always defended Robyn were suddenly questioning everything. People went back to old episodes, rewatching her emotional breakdowns and her "I just want peace" speeches with new eyes. The family's reaction was just as intense. Janelle's son Logan was the first to show her the video. Meri, away on a business trip, watched it alone and broke down in tears. Christine, who had already left the family, said in a confessional that she finally felt vindicated. The hot mic moment didn't just change how fans saw Robyn, it changed how the entire Brown family saw her, too. The fallout from that hot mic moment was instant and brutal. The leaked footage spread like wildfire, first through fan forums and then across every major social platform. People who had followed the Browns for over a decade couldn't believe what they were hearing. Robyn's words, so different from her on-screen persona, were dissected in real time. Clips of her past episodes were spliced together with the leaked audio. And suddenly, every tearful confession and every plea for unity looked suspicious. Fans who once saw Robyn as the family's emotional anchor now wondered if she'd been playing a part all along. Inside the family, the shock was even more personal. Janelle, who had always tried to keep the peace, was devastated. She'd spent years defending Robyn, even when things felt unfair. Now, hearing Robyn mock her financial struggles and dismiss her concerns about Coyote Pass, Janelle felt betrayed. She posted a rare, raw message on Instagram saying, "Sometimes the truth hurts, but it's better than living a lie." Her followers flooded the comments with support, many sharing their own stories of feeling manipulated or left out. Meri's reaction was heartbreak in slow motion. She watched the video alone in her rental, and for a long time, she just stared at the wall. After years of feeling isolated and misunderstood, hearing Robyn's real thoughts was like a punch to the gut. Later that night, Meri posted a cryptic quote, "A wolf in sheep's clothing is still a wolf." Fans immediately picked up on the reference, and the comment section exploded with speculation and sympathy. Christine, who had already walked away from the family, felt a mix of relief and anger. In a confessional, she admitted she'd always suspected Robyn was playing both sides, but seeing it confirmed was both validating and infuriating. She told viewers, "I spent years twisting myself into knots, trying to make things work. But you can't build trust on secrets." Her honesty struck a chord with fans, many of whom had watched her struggle for years. Meanwhile, TLC was in crisis mode. Executives held emergency meetings, weighing the risks of airing the footage. Some worried about legal blowback, while others argued that the network owed viewers the truth. In the end, the decision was made. The footage would air, unedited, as part of a special episode. TLC released a statement promising transparency and a commitment to showing the real story, no matter how uncomfortable. The network's gamble paid off, viewership soared, and the conversation around sister wives reached a fever pitch. For the first time in years, the Brown story felt raw, unpredictable, and painfully real. Robyn didn't stay silent for long. As the backlash grew, she took to Instagram, her face bare and eyes red from crying, insisting the leaked footage was taken out of context. She claimed she'd been venting in a private moment, that TLC had twisted her words, and that she'd always wanted nothing but peace for the family. But the comments were relentless. Fans demanded accountability, not more tears. Every time Robyn tried to explain herself, the skepticism only deepened. People remembered all those episodes where she'd cried on camera, and now many wondered if it had all been an act. Desperate to clear her name, Robyn filed a lawsuit against TLC, accusing the network of defamation and emotional distress. She argued that the footage was edited to make her look like a villain, and that she'd never agreed to have private conversations aired. But the legal battle fizzled almost as quickly as it began. TLC's lawyers produced signed releases and emails showing Robyn had approved the use of behind-the-scenes content. The judge dismissed the case, and the headlines only made things worse for Robyn's reputation. Not one to give up, Robyn tried to reclaim her story with a memoir. She announced the book on social media, promising to share her truth about betrayal, motherhood, and being misunderstood. The cover showed her holding a worn Book of Mormon, her expression somber and wounded. But the response was brutal. Early readers accused her of dodging responsibility and blaming everyone but herself. Critics pointed out that she painted herself as the perpetual victim, even as her own daughters began to speak out. That's when the narrative truly shifted. Aurora and Breanna, who had mostly stayed out of the spotlight, started sharing their own experiences. They posted heartfelt messages and videos, describing what it was like growing up in a house where appearances mattered more than honesty. They talked about feeling pressured to take sides, about the confusion and pain of watching their mother's public image clash with their private reality. Their words hit harder than any leaked footage or network special. For many fans, the daughter's honesty was the final straw. The sympathy that Robyn had once commanded was gone, replaced by a wave of support for the kids who finally found the courage to speak. When Aurora and Breanna finally spoke up, it felt like the last wall had come down. For years, viewers saw them as quiet, loyal daughters, always standing by Robyn's side in family interviews and group scenes. But as the scandal unfolded, their voices became impossible to ignore. Aurora was the first to break the silence, posting a long, heartfelt message on Instagram. She wrote about the confusion of growing up in a house where the story told to the cameras didn't always match what happened after the crew left. She described the pressure to keep up appearances, to smile and say the right things, even when she felt lost or hurt. Breanna followed with a video, her voice trembling but determined. She talked about the pain of watching her mother's public breakdowns, knowing there was so much more going on behind closed doors. She admitted she often felt caught in the middle, expected to defend her mom no matter what, even when it meant turning away from the other kids or ignoring her own feelings. Breanna said she loved her family, but she couldn't pretend anymore. She wanted people to know that being a Brown child wasn't just about reality TV fame, it was about living with secrets, about feeling invisible when the cameras stopped rolling. Their honesty struck a nerve with fans who had watched the girls grow up on screen. People remembered the episodes where Aurora and Breanna looked uncomfortable during tense family meetings, or when they seemed to shrink back as arguments flared between the adults. Now, those moments made sense. The daughters' posts were shared thousands of times, and the support poured in. Viewers thanked them for their bravery, for finally saying what so many suspected but never heard out loud. The emotional weight of their truth was undeniable. It wasn't just about Robyn anymore, it was about the cost of keeping up a perfect image, the damage done when kids are forced to choose sides, and the relief that comes from finally telling your own story. For Aurora and Breanna, speaking out was a way to reclaim their voices. For the audience, it was a reminder that behind every reality show, there are real people, real pain, and sometimes real healing. With the truth finally out, TLC made a bold move. The network shifted its focus away from the drama that had defined Sister Wives for so long and gave the spotlight to the women who had spent years in the background. The new series, Sister Strong, wasn't about polygamy or rivalry anymore. It was about Meri, Janelle, and Christine, three women who had survived heartbreak, betrayal, and public scrutiny, and were now determined to build something better for themselves and their children. Meri's journey was one of quiet strength. After years of feeling sidelined and misunderstood, she started to rediscover who she was outside the family. Viewers watched as she opened her bed and breakfast in Utah, poured her energy into new friendships, and even began to explore the possibility of love again. In one memorable episode, Meri sat with her journal, reflecting on the years she spent trying to win Cody's approval. She told the camera, "I finally realized I don't need anyone's permission to be happy." That moment resonated with so many fans who had seen her struggle. Janelle's story was all about independence. She'd always been the practical one, the steady hand who kept the family afloat. But after the split, Janelle took charge of her own finances, started a business with her sons, and became a mentor for other women leaving difficult relationships. In a powerful scene, Janelle stood in front of the Coyote Pass land, not as someone fighting for a piece of property, but as a woman claiming her own future. Her confidence was contagious, and viewers cheered her on every step of the way. Christine, meanwhile, embraced a new chapter with open arms. She moved to Utah, found love with David Woolley, and started hosting retreats for women seeking freedom from toxic relationships. Christine's laughter, once rare, became a regular part of the show. She spoke openly about the pain of the past, but also about the joy of starting over. The bond between the three women grew stronger, and their solidarity became the heart of Sister Strong. The power of truth changed everything. By sharing their real stories, Meri, Janelle, and Christine inspired others to do the same. Sister Strong wasn't just a show, it was a movement. Proof that healing is possible when you finally step out of the shadows and stand together. As the dust settled, Robyn faded from the spotlight. Her social media went quiet, her public appearances stopped, and the sympathy she once commanded was gone. The woman who had once been at the center of every family decision now found herself alone, her reputation in pieces. Even her daughters, who had always stood by her, chose honesty over loyalty to a narrative that no longer fit. For Robyn, the silence was deafening. Meanwhile, the rest of the family stepped into a new era. Meri, Janelle, and Christine, once defined by their connection to Cody and the old family structure, were now writing their own stories. They laughed more, supported each other, and found strength in their shared experiences. The weight of secrets and old wounds finally lifted, replaced by a sense of freedom that was visible in every episode of Sister Strong. This chapter wasn't about blame or revenge, it was about truth, healing, and the courage to move forward. The Brown story had always been complicated, but now, for the first time, it felt honest. I want to know what you think. Did you see this coming? How did these moments change your view of the family? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more real stories from TLC's Sister Wives News.